Hello, I'm Dr. Grady Books, and I have the Droid 4 here. I've had this phone just a little bit over a month, and so I wanted to do a quick review on this. Now, I'm a writer, but I am a fiction writer. I'm not a tech journalist or a tech blogger, so I'm not going to get into a lot of specifications, but I'm just going to do this more from a consumer standpoint. So this is the top of the phone. This is the power 3.5mm headphone jack, and there's a microphone hole there. On this side you have the micro USB port, which is how you charge the phone, and HDMI. Then you also have a microphone at the very bottom, and that's it. On this side, the only thing that's here are the toggles for the ringer switch. And we're back at the top, so we'll go to the back. This has an 8 megapixel camera, and it can shoot in 1080p video. I have not done that yet, but it's nice to know that it is capable and it's an option. And this is the back of the phone, and it kind of has a nice rubbery, grippy feel to it. It feels very nice in the hand, and I do kind of really like that. If you'll notice, this phone is not in any way sleek or trim. It's kind of chubby, but the sides are tapered. I don't know if you can see that exactly in the video, but it's tapered nicely so that when you hold the phone in your hand, it feels really nice. And this phone, it has a reassuring heft to it, but it's not too heavy, so it's kind of nice when you're holding it. I like to read on my phone, so it's been a great device for reading. Also for playing Angry Birds. Of course, you're going to hold it like this, and you know, you can hold it long term, and it still feels quite comfortable. Now, the last part of the hardware tour, I'm going to just show you. This is the best part of the phone, of course, the QWERTY board. As you can see, it's backlit, and the keys are very, very easy to use. They're very clicky. You have the individual number row there. It's fabulous. You have the little directional keys. It's a really, really nice keyboard. And there, the light came back on. But it's just fabulous for whenever I have scenes that come to my mind, and I have to roll out of bed at night and input those. You can see it because it's backlit, and the keys work very nicely. They're very clicky. It's a great part of the phone. I also wanted to give you an idea of the size of the phone. I don't have other phones in which to show you, and if you've never seen those phones, you don't really understand. I mean, you can't get a good picture, and I know sometimes the phones look massive in these videos. This is just an ordinary emery board, and it's tapered at the bottom and then gets a little bigger at the top, just like this phone. So this seems like it was a good way for me to show you what the size of the phone is, like the thickness, and it's, like I said, it's very much shaped like the phone. So that's just a nice way to see what the size is. This is an ordinary simple post-it note, so you can kind of get an idea again of the size. It's not quite as wide as this pad here, but it gives you a good idea of the size. Here's another bigger post-it, so that should help as well. It's not nearly as thick or as wide as this bigger post-it note. And then finally, most people have handled a can of soda, so I thought, well, maybe this would be a good indication too. It's just a little tiny bit taller than this can of soda, but not by much. So if you have a can of soda in your hand, you're going to see that the phone's not really that big. It's actually a really nice size. I have average sized female hands, and it fits very nicely in my hands, and it's very comfortable to use. So that being said, we'll go on now to the software side. You can, if you take this side, you'll open up the camera. if you put that up, you'll put it in vibrate mode, turn the sound off, but we're just going to open up to the actual first screen here. It's just your typical Android phone. There are 5 home screens that you can customize, so these are my reading and sort of reference ones. These are games, and if you kind of follow along down here, you can see which page you're on. These are just some apps and widgets that I use a lot, and again for this last screen too. So this is, it's been a great phone. There are just a few little things that I don't like that I think are probably just bugs. Like if you turn the phone off, let me get that to that mode. If you use these screen options or these mode options, this one you can also put it on silent mode, or you can push this ringer switch all the way down, and that'll give you an option. But the battery's not removable, which is kind of a pain. So if you want to reset the phone, you have to go into this and power it off, which is fine. But when I find that I do that, the problem is that it leaves a lot of my icons, and I think they're the ones on the SD card. It leaves them looking like this, only in blue, like the settings. It's really strange, and I wonder if it's, my husband's razor doesn't do that, so I wonder if it's just a bug that needs to be fixed. But that's kind of a pain, because it just looks kind of funky when you get in there to look at it. So the Swiss Army knife there, it doesn't have that nice little icon. It looks like the settings one in blue. Another thing I don't really like about the phone is that sometimes when you touch an application, or you're actually in an application and you go to press something, it doesn't immediately respond to you, so you're not sure if you actually pressed it or not. That's a little bit of a problem too. But for the most part, it's very responsive, and just the applications look really nice, and it's been a really nice phone thus far, and I really do like it. The keyboard's fabulous. I like the size of it, and it's fairly responsive. Sometimes when you do Angry Birds, it doesn't always respond, but it's been good, and I think that you wouldn't go wrong. If you're looking for a QWERTY keyboarded phone, I think you would very, very much enjoy this phone. So you can check out further videos, and you can also get more information on my books by visiting my website, www.drgradybooks.com. Thank you for viewing.